Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Sonic Racing CrossWorlds yet again because oh my god, I can't. Sega, the withdrawal of not being able to play it for 2 full days straight has honestly killed me. It's made me do crazy things like go back and play Team Sonic Racing's story mode for the first time all the way through, and those are 7 hours of my life that I'll never get back. I just, but that aside, Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is like a racing experience that is so familiar yet so new at the same time. It's so hard to describe the experience with it. From the first time that I played the closed network test back in February of this year for the PS5, I enjoyed it. I loved it. And like, I loved it then. But then, this open network test came back, and finally being able to play it on my PC and just streaming it for God knows how long. I tried to do a marathon stream, only made it in 45 hours in. Probably streamed it more than I should have. But like, I enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it. I really wanted to express that I enjoyed it. And like, I just, clocking in almost 53 hours to, I think it was 53 hours, it's somewhere in there on Steam. I'll have to go back and take a look, but like, I could not put this game down, and honestly, I can't tell you why. Like, I can give you reasons for why I couldn't put it down, but also at the same time, there's just like something about it that is just so fantastic. It's like, I don't know, it's so weird. And like, I know that a lot of people have the opinion that maybe Transformed might be a little bit better still in terms of the Sonic Racing titles, but this one beats it, like, clear shot for me. Like, I can't go back to Transformed after this. Transformed was a great game. Sumo did an amazing job making that game, and the CrossWorlds definitely takes a lot of influence from that game with the transformative mechanics that they introduce back into the Sonic Racing titles. But like, overall, this is the Sonic Racing game that I have been wanting for years. And like, that's not even to say that like I want it more than another Riders game, but like, it feels like a great evolution of all the Sonic Racing games. They literally take everything from the past Sonic Racing games and just combine them all into this one great experience that, again, is hard to explain. So you've got so many different things that are pulled from not only just the Sumo titles, but also the Sonic Riders franchise as well. Like, I'm almost certain like the bumping into each other and like losing rings for that is 100% inspired by the original Riders, where you could like attack people by pressing the B button on GameCube. I mostly played on GameCube because I own a GameCube. They just took everything that you possibly could have loved from Sonic Riders and Sonic Racing, and just, it's like all put together, mashed up into this Frankenstein of a beautiful game. And it's like crack, dude. It's a drug. This is the new racing game drug. This is a drug in racing game format. And I think, honestly, the reason why it's got so much of an appeal to it is because of the CrossWorld feature. Because it just, every single race that you do is not going to be like the exact same last one. Now, there will be times where you get into the same map multiple times on the open network test because people kept voting for the same map, Mystic Jungle. Aside from that, like, it's just, I don't know. The races just felt like they didn't overstay their welcome, and each time you went to a CrossWorld, even if it's something that you didn't want or didn't necessarily like, it still felt great. And by the time you get done with a race and you pop back into another one, like, it's just, you get so lost in the mix of playing the game, and it's just fantastic. Like, I can't praise this game enough without sounding like I'm trying to glaze it, but like, I've never really been that drawn to the Sonic Racing titles from Sumo, and I feel like this is the first time that they've done a racing title, which ironically isn't done by Sumo, that I've actually had a lot of interest in. And I couldn't put it down. I love playing it online with friends, playing it with viewers, and like, the night before that the network test went offline, I was just so depressed knowing that I wasn't going to be able to boot it back up and play it again. And like, I don't know, like, now obviously the network test did have some issues. That's why they did the network test to begin with. There were a lot of connection issues, and I'm almost certain that's because of the cross-platform play kind of thing that they were testing. I didn't really notice it, like it only happened ever so often, but like if someone were to disconnect from your lobby mid-race, or if something were to happen mid-race, and you go back to the lobby, there would be like this weird bug where I wouldn't be able to see the fourth person or third person or whoever is new to the lobby join in, and like whenever I readied up, it would just be waiting for other players. And obviously there is a player there because the like little thing that they have in the lobby to dictate whether you're waiting for a player or not was filled, but it was like an invisible player, and we'd have to go back in and restart the lobby and stuff. But like, I mean, aside from that, the only other thing that really gave issues with connectivity was the festival mode, and I think that's where most of the testing was actually needed, because there were a lot of disconnects, a lot more disconnects in festival than there was in world ranking in general. And the game just, it's so solid. And like, I didn't really play too much of the other characters. I mostly just stuck to Wave, and I did not touch the cars at all. I know that the open network test was there for me to test the cars, but I love the extreme gear, and I think that's just going to be a thing in general until we get the obvious, like, best car of all time, which is the Krabby Paddy Wagon from SpongeBob. So I'm not touching the cars until I get that Paddy Wagon in my roster of things, and even then, I'm probably not going to be playing with the Paddy Wagon all that much. I love the customization. The customization was fantastic. I tried making a Metal Overlord kind of inspired board until I realized that I couldn't make his eyes because the decals have like that weird like hitbox kind of thing, which is a really smart move on Sega's part, because I could 100% see how that would become a bigger issue if those bounding boxes weren't there for the decals. So definitely ahead of the curve on that one. But I really wanted to be able to make like Metal Overlord and his eyes like at the edge of the, I think it was the zero gravity board. And I don't know. I really enjoyed the customization and the options that we're able to, like, I made a Dreamcast one, which was inspired by someone that I saw on Twitter doing it. A lot of people made a Sonic Extreme Gear board where they had like the decals for his eyes at the end of the board, and they just colored the rest of the board Sonic's colors. The customization in general is just something really nice, and something that I really appreciate them doing, because I really love the idea of making your own board and then like sharing it online and seeing other people react to it and like maybe recreate it in their own way. I said this in my first like video talking about and rambling about CrossWorlds closed network test, but it'd be really cool if we could have a system where we could just upload the designs of the carts or the extreme gear in general, and have people download the data for it and use it as their board. I think there is something very cool within that specific region that we could really use and make the game feel more connected community-wise, whether it be through a mobile app or just a future update in the game. I think just having something like that would be fantastic and really get people to design more carts and more extreme gear, because like I feel like, you know, it will get to a point where we've pretty much seen everything that we can do with the cars and the extreme gear, and I think that just might be a small missing key element that's not there but could potentially be something in the future if they decide to go through with it. It's just a little idea that I have that I want to throw out there. Not like anybody from Sega is going to watch this video and be like, oh yeah, let's do that. But it was really nice, and it was really fun, and I know it sounds like I'm repeating myself, but this video is nothing but rambling and praising Sonic CrossWorlds, because I really love this game, and I want to gas it up for myself and for others. We have that single player demo that's coming out mid-September, whatever that means. And I'm curious of when that's going to be and what they're going to introduce in it. If it's going to be the same thing that we had in the open network test, but it's all available offline, or if they're going to add new characters to it, let us play some other characters that were locked in the closed and open network test, as well as maybe even adding like one new track or two new tracks. I obviously know that they don't want to go overboard with it, because then at that point it's just like, okay, well, now, you know, what's the point of getting the full game if we've let you race on pretty much every track that we have available in the game? But I think having another, like, new bit of content for the single player demo might make it a little bit more of a reason to get it, other than the fact that people are just going to be addicted to playing the game offline anyway. Man, this game is so freaking good, and I'm so excited. The September 25th can't come soon enough. I love everything surrounding it. I haven't even gotten to the major bits of my feedback for it, aside from the connectivity issues. Each track, again, felt beautiful. I love the music. There are some tracks that are favorited more than the others. But speaking of music, being able to go into the extras menu and see a jukebox, and then learning that the jukebox can be used as a way to play separate tracks for different races that you're in, is just something that I thought was going to be in from the beginning, but also something that I'm glad is there, because it just makes more customization. It makes the customization more fun and more easier to be able to appreciate other tracks that you might not hear more often if you're playing online and you're not able to get those CrossWorlds or those tracks like voted for in an online match. The ranking system was very fun. It does get a bit competitive. It does get very competitive. And I really enjoyed it. I did race my way all the way to Legend 9, but I know there were some crazy people up there that were at, like, I think Legend 6 was the highest that I saw, and I think it goes up to Legend 1. I could be wrong about that, but I do believe it goes up to Legend 1. And I know that was just for the open network test, but I felt like it was worth it. I honestly felt like grinding all the way up there was worth it, and it really just showed how much I really did enjoy playing the game, because I'm going to make it to Legend in no time now, knowing how much I'm probably going to be playing the game. And I'm going to be honest, I think this game has really ruined any other game release coming out this year, because I don't care about most of the other stuff. I'm just so interested in seeing what more they can do with this, and just being able to play on the other tracks that we haven't even fully seen yet. Like, I think they just did a crosstalks the other day with Jet and Wave, and like they showed off the Egg Expo stage, which looks freaking insane. Like, you're gonna be able to see Badnik's and Eggman's creations all presented to you in order of, I guess, their release. And it's just like, it's sort of like Wonder Museum, but for Eggman, and I think that's so cool. Being able to see his past creations all presented to you all within one race. And the interactions with other characters, I can't wait to see the interactions with Sage, and just Metal Sonic, and just everything. Like, I can't wait for those interactions. The gadget system was fantastic. I really like what they did in this version of the game as opposed to the closed network test, because the closed network test, the UI that they used for the gadget system, in my opinion, felt too overwhelming. It just looked like I was scrolling past like tons of icons and not knowing what each one did. And so for them to have categorized it the way that they did in the open network test, and making the UI a little bit bigger and just being on separate levels and whatnot in lists of, in like a grid, I really enjoyed that over how we had it in closed network test. So more props to them for utilizing the UI as much as they possibly can. I think the UI overall in the game was very clean and very easy to understand. I didn't really have much of an issue with it. But yeah, it was fun going in and like testing out the different gadget combinations and whatnot. I know that they did like a tweet on the CrossWorlds account where they allowed or where they shared a developer loadout, and I did try it a little bit, but I didn't get the fullest extent of it because I mostly was playing Extreme Gear. I believe the number for where I left off before the open network test closed was, I believe I had played as Wave at least 305 times, and the Extreme Gear at least 307 or 8 times. I did like race as Joker for a little bit during one of my live streams just to showcase Joker in the Joker event. But other than that, like Joker, Wave, and Omega, I think are the only characters that I really played as. And yeah, no, Wave was definitely the most. I like, I don't know what it was. I don't know what the draw was. I've never really been that like much of a Wave person or a Wave fan. But there was just something about how she handled on the extreme gear that I personally really enjoyed. I did try out some other characters, like I believe I tried Eggman one time, but I just didn't like how he turned. His turn was very much more wide as opposed to Wave, and like I tried playing as other characters like Omega, but I just kept getting more like wins with Wave, so I just gravitated towards playing Wave more, because that was the character I was winning the most with. It felt like there was some kind of solidified connection there between me and this Babylon Rogue member that literally no one cares about other than Riders fans. I'm just joking when I say that. Like, I know there are Wave fans out there. And look, I played as her for 307, 305 games. I'm allowed to have a joke here and there. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed what I played of the closed network test. And it felt exhilarating, and the Sand Road is probably one of my favorite tracks. Apatos is fantastic. Metal Harbor was amazing. I mean, like, every returning track, even like East Stadium, Rainbow Garden, Wave Palace Wave Palace? Oh god, I'm wave-brained right now. I've said wave so many times that it's replacing words like water. Water Palace was fantastic. I loved Water Palace. I love the music. I know a lot of people really want Back to Back to come back, but like, I will take this beautiful sounding song that we got for it over Back to Back. Like, I'm fine with it because it just sounds so good. Like, just racing on it every single time and hearing the singer go spinning rocks, spinning rocks, spinning. I know that's not what they're saying, but I swear to God, the first time that I got into the game and we got to the last lap, like, in my head, all I heard was spinning rocks, spinning rocks, spinning rocks. And I'm just like, oh yeah, spinning does rock. Crash Bandicoot rocks, dude. He was spinning before spinning was even cool. God, Dave, try not to make this about Crash Bandicoot within a video challenge. Almost impossible. Though I really hope that he's in. Please, Sega, for the love of God, put him in. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed what I played. And I know I'm rambling on and on and on and on and on, but like, I had to sit down and just express how much I absolutely adore and love Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. And I hope that Tangle the Lemur is coming in. Same with Wave. Wait, gosh darn it, I said Wave again. Same with the Whisper. Same with Whisper. Tangle and Whisper. That's all this game needs. That's all this game ever needs. But yeah, so until the release of Sonic Racing CrossWorlds comes out, I've been going back and I've been playing some Sonic Racing games. Like I said, I went back and played Team Sonic Racing all the way through for the first time because I didn't do that when that first came out. And surprisingly, after doing that, I still have less hours in that than I do the CrossWorlds Open Network test, which I just find funny. I don't know. I just find that really funny that a game that I played back then, like, was completely crushed by just an open network test. And so, upcoming stream that I'm planning is going to be a Sonic Riders marathon where I'm going to be playing through Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, and then Free Riders. And I will not be playing that with the Kinect. I will actually be playing it with the modded version that someone made where it actually works with the controller. So I'm very curious of how I'm going to enjoy that game now that I can properly play it without having motion sensor nightmare. Which I did have of course I had Zero Gravity, duh, which I did get Free Riders for Christmas like a long time back when that first came out. I remember when the Kinect first came out, I got the Kinect and Sonic Free Riders for Christmas, and I had a lot of fun playing it, but I did not like the motion control at all, and I don't think I even went through the story all the way properly. So it is going to be very interesting Again, that's going to be a huge marathon stream where I'm just going to be playing through all the games there. It shouldn't take more than 6 to 7 hours, I don't think. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. I think it'd be really fun to have a bunch of people there and just enjoy Sonic Riders for what Sonic Riders was up until, you know, CrossWorlds come out. So I just need something to really hold me over until CrossWorlds makes its debut. And I just, man, I can't wait for that release, man. I am so excited. But yeah, so rambling pretty much over. Sorry that I took your time for almost 20 minutes, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble. If you have any ramblings you want to present to me about CrossWorlds in the comments down below, feel free to. If you're excited for Sonic CrossWorlds and you want to keep up with more content, whether it be Sonic related or anything else, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell, as it does help out a lot. And I also would appreciate it if you gave this video a hype, which is a brand new feature, which if this video gets enough hype, I get put on a leaderboard and more visibility overall for people to enjoy my content. And that would be really great if you could do that. And yeah, be sure to share around with your friends, and I'll be getting back to Sonic Rumble eventually. There's just a lot. There's a lot going to be going on this month. There's a lot going to be going on in the future, and I can't wait for it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.